Hey, there I am. Good morning, friends. What is it? It is February 24th, 2018. My name is Jeff Fritz. Welcome back to my live stream. Wow, we had fun on the stream this week. We spent some time on Tuesday with my friend Rich Ross talking about cognitive services and setting up and doing a little bit of moderation on the stream, and we're going to do a little bit more on that in a few of the weeks to come here as we tune and look a little bit further at those capabilities to try and level up some of the interaction that we can do for folks in the chat room. I want to make sure that you have a great resource in there to help moderate, even if I'm not able to hop in there and answer questions and respond to you. Good morning, Yolzar. It's great to see you there in the chat room. And then on Thursday, my friend Oren Novotny joined us, and we did a little bit around continuous integration with Visual Studio Team Services. And we actually had some of the Team Services management team hanging out in the chat room that day. I'm very thankful to those folks for joining us and getting me straightened out on some of the questions and problems and simple mistakes that I had made in configuring my continuous integration capabilities using VSTS. I look forward to using more of those services with some of my other projects. But I had to cut that day a little bit short. I had to cut that stream short because I had a couple issues. Some folks swiped my wife's credit card numbers and were setting up and running up fantastic charges on Venmo, which makes us happy. So. Good morning, Meat Popsicle. Good morning, Joe Bun. Great to see you guys out there in the chat. We've had a number of folks follow us. A lot of folks follow and join in on the stream here in the past few weeks, past few days. We're getting really close to our next goal. Before I get to that, of course, a couple things. Oh my gosh, look at my hat. You can see right through it because I've got a little bit of blue in there. Look at that. This is a hat from Black Horse Stables. That's the name of the stable that my daughters ride at. They're going to be going into a regional riding competition next weekend. Just a little distance here from the house. My older daughter is currently in first place in the regular season. So going into this, we're hopeful that she brings home a blue ribbon. I will not be hosting a stream next Saturday. So that's, what is that, March 2nd? Because I'll be actually at the ranch. I am the in-ring announcer for events there. I'm the voice of Black Horse Stables. So I will not be hosting a stream, but we'll pick up that week from Redmond, and I'm going to be broadcasting from the Microsoft MVP Summit that week. My friends at Channel 9 have offered to help me out with some space when I'm there, so I need to coordinate with them. I think I'm going to be in a studio on Tuesday morning. We'll see how that works out. But on Thursday is when we have our MVP hackathon, where MVPs can work with some of our engineers and program managers to work on some projects together, learn a little bit from each other, and really, as developers, just like we're doing here, code together. Well, what I'm going to try to do is set up a table on the side of that room. I'll broadcast a little bit later in that day, and as the details come together on this, I'll make sure that I tweet it out and put it here in the stream descriptions. But what I'll do is I plan to set up a table on the side of the room and then have some folks over, some MVPs and some Microsoft folks, and we'll walk through and take maybe a 15-20 minute tour of some of the projects they're working on, either live on stream or I'll record it and broadcast it at another date. So we'll work out some of the details on that. I want to be flexible with that to make sure that we can make that happen. So I didn't set the title of the stream yet, so I should probably do that. I'm going to run over here using Chrome, and I'm going to wander up here and set the titles for our streams. And today we're going to be doing, we've got some actually we're going to be doing open coding, pull requests, and some Power BI work today that I want to take a look at. There we go. All right, so now we've got some titles. All right. Look at that. We're at 976 followers. Thank you, everybody who's followed. When we hit that 1,000 follower number, I'm going to host, I think it's going to be about a 4-hour stream, and I'm calling it the helpme.net stream, where I'm going to leave it open for folks to submit their questions, their problems, and we'll effectively do like Stack Overflow live here on the stream, and I'll answer your questions. Maybe I'll even have some folks jump on Skype. I'll open up Visual Studio Live Share so that you can share your code with us, and we can help figure out what's going on together. Hello, the Blub 14. Welcome from Germany. I hear the Germans are playing for the men's ice hockey gold medal. Good luck to you on that. Playing against the Olympians from Russia. Best of luck to my German friends hanging out there. All right. Where do we want to go here today? We have a couple of pull requests we want to take a look at. So let me run over and start there on GitHub. Of course, my GitHub is github.com/C#Fritz, just like the stream. I don't think I had any in configuration builders. Nope, we're good here. So configuration builders, let me click back into there. In case you haven't seen this, this is a feature in .NET Framework 4.7.1. It's a set of abstract classes that are made available as part of that framework. My team made them. And what you can do with this library and some of the other libraries that we have available out there is you can actually bring in configuration data from a third-party source, not necessarily something that's a file on disk, but you can actually reach out somewhere else and make it available as part of your configuration manager capabilities inside of either ASP.NET or Windows Forms or WPF, those applications that use a web config or an app config with .NET Framework. This is really great if you want to bring in like environment variables and you're using ASP.NET and you want to be able to configure things and orchestrate your features inside of a Docker container. This project, though, is a series of configuration builders so that you can configure your application using the tried and true ini files, because everybody loves ini files. RSS feeds, so you can almost set up a configuration server out there, publish an RSS feed, and be able to read those settings and put them into your applications. And YAML files. Everybody loves YAML these days, so why don't we try using YAML files? You can use that to configure your application. Dual Jones 92. Hello from North Korea. Are you really in North Korea? I don't know if you'd be granted access to Twitch, and I don't know if the Supreme Leader would let you watch my stream. I'm a little I'm teaching you stuff, but I don't know. If you are truly from North Korea, welcome, terrific. If you're from South Korea, that's okay too. But welcome wherever you're coming in and watching from. I appreciate everybody joining us. You know what I didn't do though? I didn't call out the music that I'm playing in the background here today, and I hope the music isn't too loud. I hope it's at a good level. We haven't played it in a couple days. This is music to code by from my friend Carl Franklin. If you click through and look at my live stream link over here, this repository has all the information about how the stream works, some information about how to get to recordings, how to ask questions, but there's information here about how to get your hands on the music to code by. This song was originally called Chartreuse and is available as part of the music to code by. You can purchase from his website, or you can actually download an app and subscribe, and you'll get fresh music like this that's designed to help you code better, focus better. So check that out if you're interested in more chill music like this. That reminds me, I took the chill stream label off of the stream. I'm going to put that back on there. Chill streams. My friend Suze Hinton insists that this is a very chill stream and we should label it as such. So let's make sure that's out there. Uh-oh. I think I accidentally changed my stream title back on Twitch. Let's go out there real quick. Just double check. because that wouldn't be good. What? Restream.io, let's go. Make sure I have the right title out there. And then we'll take a look. I'm nearly positive I have a... yeah, there we go. I have the wrong title. Come here. I'd like to copy that, please. Thank you. Come over here. Because we had Oren on the other day. Update that. There we go. Much better. All right. Where was I? I have some guests that recently signed up that are interested in joining us. Steve Smith is going to be joining us on Tuesday. We're going to talk about some software patterns that day and looking at kind of improving some of the design of our Stream Tools application that I've been working on. And my friend Isaac Levine in New York City, he offered to connect and do a stream with us about monitoring applications after they've been deployed. So we did a little bit with continuous deployment. Well, let's take a look at how do we make sure that stuff's actually running properly. So we're going to set up a date, and Isaac is very excited. He's watched a number of these streams. He's very excited to join us and show some of the things that you can do with monitoring and maintaining your applications. All right, so that was configuration builders. We talked a little bit about the music. Then let me show you Stream Tools here. Look at that. I've got 2 pull requests out here. Shadow Stancer, do you have a link to the music I just mentioned? I only caught the end of it. So check it out. If you go to, and there's a link here on Twitch. If you go on the dashboard, on the panel there on Twitch, if you go in my, in there's a link to my GitHub. Click into Fritz live stream, and then there's information about the music right here. Okay? So this is called Music to Code By. And each one of the tracks here is about 20-25 minutes long. It's about the same length as a Pomodoro, if you're familiar with the Pomodoro technique. Really good stuff. You're welcome, Shadow Stancer. And I am Bipin Paul. You're in Nepal. Fantastic. Is DuckDuckGo my search engine of choice? DuckDuckGo, I prefer, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, DuckDuckGo is a very private search engine that does not log any tracking information about who you are. It doesn't use cookies to skew your search results the way that Google and other search engines do. I prefer using DuckDuckGo. The folks that build it are actually... They're just a couple towns over from me here in the Philadelphia suburbs. So I like to support those folks. I want to make sure that they're successful. So I prefer to use DuckDuckGo. At times you'll see me use Bing, particularly when I'm using Edge, because marketing folks that I work for like to make sure that we're promoting things that the company builds. So I use a little bit of both. You won't see me using Google's engine too much. Or Lycos, or Ask Jeeves, or LexisNexis. Is LexisNexis even still around? Let me know. Okay, I'm waiting to see somebody. I haven't seen a follower come through, and I haven't properly thanked them with an alert there in the past few days. So I love seeing folks subscribe. I see over there. I've got a subscriber, Jason TF 1981, subscribing. Thank you very much. If you want to use your Twitch Prime subscription and support my stream, I very much appreciate that. I'm not looking though to make money off of the stream. So what I've done, and I need to write this up a little bit somewhere. If you do subscribe, if you do want to cheer on Twitch. I'm going to take those subscriptions, I'll take those cheers, and I will redirect them. I'll match them, actually. So Twitch will pay it out, I will match it, my employer will match it, and we will actually take that. So your donation will actually get quadrupled. And I made a mistake, it's not tripled, quadrupled. And I'll donate it to Girl Develop It. That's an organization that is attempting to teach ladies and underserved minorities to learn how to code, just like we are here on stream. I'm very supportive of what they're trying to do, and we're actually pretty close to our first Twitch payout. So when that happens, I'll make a big announcement, and I'll share that information with the folks here on stream. Hey, there's Isaac in the Twitch chat room. Good morning, Isaac. All right, I want to take a look at these pull requests here that we have waiting. So what do we got? Reworked goal configuration. Let's take a look at this. So this is by Standby Reloading. Let's see what we got. A reworked goal configuration to use Bootstrap 4, and that's what BS stands for. Input groups, move the add button to its own row down here, okay? And added an on-change event to all inputs. Move the scope limit to allow access to page functions, and it might need a little bit of work. So he's got a couple of changes here that he wants to submit to the dev branch. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with this project, Stream Tools, if you look on the video here and you look up top, the helpme.net follower goal, and if you also look over to the side here, I've got the followers count up above my cursor here, and then I've got the viewers count in the corner. All of those are actually web pages that are being generated by ASP.NET Core. And I use OBS, the Open Broadcaster software, to merge those things together and burn into the video that I transmit here for you. So, since I can embed web pages in there, this is real easy for me to just set up something to connect to the Twitch and Mixer APIs, monitor them, and reflect things appropriately. So to build this cool follower goal that you see up across the top, it'd be really great to give you a way to configure that and generate the actual URL you need to use inside of OBS to connect and produce that data. So with our help, our friend Sarah Dukevich, yeah, I pronounced it right again, Sarah. You'll see her sometimes in the chat room. She's Sudoku. She helped us design and say, you know what, let's put together just a simple page here so that we can select. And at that time, we only did caption and goal and the count number. And it was really great. You know, we started off very simple, and other folks have submitted pull requests to improve it and make it look a lot better here so that, you know, we can configure and build this out nicely. So I'm going to take a look at this pull request that it sounds like it's a bunch of HTML and CSS cleanup, and I'm all thumbs when it comes to user interface. So let's take a look at the change that we have here and merge that in and hopefully get some more features here. There we go. My Tai, is that My Tai Dev? Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. And you're right, Organic IT. Good morning. Matt Perrin, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And where are you? Good morning, Steve. Steve, we saw you at the Clippers game the other night yelling at Steph Marbury. That wasn't good, Steve. You shouldn't yell at the NBA's MVP. That's a bad idea. Don't do that again, Steve. I know you're an owner. Don't do that. Okay. Yeah, Organic IT. We are so close to 1,000. What is it with every time I get close to a trip, we get close to another goal? That's terrific. I am thrilled that we're close to another goal, and still questioning my. So, Steph Curry, not Marbury. Thank you, Fossils. I was thinking, that's not right. It's not Marbury. It's Curry. That's who it is. See, I'm getting my NBA players. Stop being so popular. Not me. So Organic IT is referring to a tweet that I published, about a week or so ago, where I had, I received an unsolicited email from a recruiter asking me to verify my ASP.NET expertise so that I could apply for a job as a developer. And for those of you who don't know, if you haven't looked further into my blog or stuff, I'm actually the program manager for the ASP.NET Web Forms team, and have been for about 2 years now. So I've committed code that goes into Windows, so I know a little bit about ASP.NET. It was a little funny. All right, so here I am in my project locally on my machine, and I am a elite command line Git user. I'm learning this just as much as the next person. Am I hiring on my team? I am not currently hiring. Stay tuned though. There are always new projects and things that we're looking for help on. So stay tuned. You know, there might be some things happening. What did I do here? What are these things? Oh, you know what? The live share team reached out to me and they wanted to know, they wanted to help with some of the issues that we were having, and we wrote some comments into my code. So, oh, let me show this. I figured something out. Ooh. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ditch bot service. All right, hang on. Microsoft is always hiring. You're right, Isaac. There's always positions opening. If you do want to be an engineer, they kind of require you to be in Redmond, particularly if it's on one of our primary products. So I'm going to do a reset hard on Fritz, Stream Tools, Services, Bot Service. Cannot reset hard. Oh, fine. No, it didn't do it. All right. This isn't gonna. I'm not sure what I should be doing there, but I'm just going to open the project here. Yeah, Microsoft is always hiring. If you go to careers.microsoft.com, you can check it out, and there's always things open out there you can sign up for. If you want to be a developer, if you want to work on one of the products, if you want to be a program manager, if you want to be an accountant or a lawyer, there's all kinds of positions hanging out there that you can check out. And what we were rated as the most innovative company in artificial intelligence space. That's pretty cool. I don't work in artificial intelligence. I work in real intelligence. I kid. All right. So bot service. Yeah, we'll get rid of this. Let's see. I was looking at. I had. What's the handler there that I was? The footer view component. Let me go to that. I'm going to do a control comma footer view component. All right. So I had in here a thing to right because this is. I had this as an async task, and then I was doing an await task delay 0. And that just feels bad. That's like stupid to put a delay in there. Then I read somewhere, just do task from result. And so that you just tell, and you don't need the async then. You just tell the calling method that, oh yeah, this is done. No need to await. Here's the result. And Isaac's pushing his own group. But Premier support is where the cool kids are. Sure. Whatever. I'm in the middle of planning build, okay? That's what I'm working on right now. Should we remove the async from the name? Yes, and over here. No, actually, you need to leave it as async because that's the name of the method that it's going to call. You can't just have an invoke method hanging out here. This, right? The view component actually looks for that method. Good question, all will. All right, so let's take a look. I'm going to commit this change. I'm going to commit. So let's add Fritz, Stream Tools. Not that one. That one. All right. Git commit. Converted. Removed async decorator. Let's call it that. Shadow Stancer, I've been really struggling recently with implementing abstract factories. I can't see where they would benefit my code unless someone else points it out. Interesting. Let me do the reset hard here and lose that other one. All right. And now I can push this. Oh, snap. I just ran into... GitHub just changed their... Yeah, that's not going to work. GitHub just changed their TLS enforcement. This could be... this could be a problem. No, no, no. They're enforcing that you need to use 1.2, TLS 1.2. TLS, Transport Layer Security. They also do SSL. TLS used to be called SSL, Secure Sockets Layer, but now it's TLS. So nothing works anymore trying to connect to GitHub because now they've enforced that you must use Transport Layer Security 1.2. Let's see. I need to get an update version of the Git tools in order to connect and use. Reviewing your SSH keys using. I do have two-factor authentication set up. My employer requires it. Oh boy. This is going to be a pain in the neck. Don't you have to download the latest Git for Windows? I thought I read that somewhere. I thought so too. Latest Git for Windows. Sears Custom Fit Windows. Are you kidding me? Ugh. All right, Git for Windows. Hang on. No. Let's grab this one. That's because all the SSL versions are compromised. Why not use a Git GUI instead of a CLI? And I don't think you are the real Donald Trump there. I'll just refer to you as Don. How's that? This also means though that I'm going to have some other problems with some other things that I use, which is going to really be a pain in the neck. Why don't I use a Git GUI? Git graphical user interfaces are nice. I'm a long-time command line person, so I like to do it in the command line so I have a little bit more of touch and feel of exactly what everybody is using, kind of that least common denominator. So, all right, let's see if we can install this and get back up to speed here. Yes. I don't want additional icons. No, 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 no. Ooh, no. Check daily for Git for Windows updates. Probably should do that now. Use Vim as Git's default editor. Absolutely. Git from the Windows command prompt. You better believe it. Yep, use OpenSSL. Check out Windows style, commit Unix style. Absolutely. Use min-tty, no, default console window. Enable file system caching, sure. Git credential manager, yep. Symbolic links. Yeah, fine. Life of a developer, 1 hour of coding, 10 minutes writing code, 20 minutes of Stack Overflow searching, and 25 minutes trying random Git commands. I know. And it isn't SSL versions are compromised. They're pushing everybody to SSL 1.2. Chrome is going to stop supporting. TLS 1.2. Chrome's going to stop supporting and reporting errors if you go to websites using older versions, which is going to feel really bad in about 3 or 4 months. And I'm going to need to get an SSL secure certificate on my blog. All right, let's see if I can do this now. Let's do git push. Now we can type this in. So there's that, and my password is this. Two-factor authentication. Watch me key in a number. If you don't have two-factor authentication set up for GitHub, I recommend you do it. It's easy to do and gets you authenticated and ensures that everything you're committing just works out there. All right, so that's done. I should be able to now. I'm not gonna. Let me check out my dev branch. Good. So what I like to do to be able to test and see what's going on here, I like to grab the command line instructions so I can copy down exactly what's been written and then test it out. Fossil says I use 2FA on anything I can. Absolutely. I completely agree. I had a huge issue with Amazon. Amazon has two-factor authentication. Somebody lifted my Amazon account, and Amazon apparently is very easy to socially hack. So, Don says all SSL versions are compromised, and so is TLS 1.1. Really? There is no real security issue in TLS 1.1 that TLS 1.2. There are changes and improvements which can be argued to qualify as fixing. It's based on a combination of MD5 and SHA-1, and those are academically broken. So there is no vulnerability explicitly on 1.1. But what it's based on. Yeah, twofactorauth.org. That's a good point. Standby reloading. Let me just show that real quick. Twofactor, not auth.com. This has a complete. What the heck? No. Two-factor auth. That's not how you spell two. There it is. Twofactorauth.org. Haha. There it is. So. This has all the different places that two-factor authentication is available, and you can look up your bank, your cloud computing provider. Make sure Chipotle supports two-factor authentication. That's a good thing. All right, back to this. So I've copied down my instructions, and I've already extracted and placed this here. We made some changes to package JSON, it says. Let's take a look at that. What was changed in package JSON? Where is it? I know you're here. Oh, you made everything lowercase. Okay. All right. So it was really just a Razor page that was changed here. This Razor template goal configuration, CSHTML. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start this up and take a look. Here it comes. All right. There we go. Stream tools. To Joe Phillips, quick thank you. Not able to make a lot of the live streams, but thank you for starting these. Between me, Dev Chatter, and NoOpCat, Vim is so cool. Yeah, so NoOpCat, that's Suze Hinton. She's the originator of doing some of this live streaming of coding. Great stuff, and I'm glad you learned a lot there, Joe Phillips. MS defaults to caps in package JSON, even though it should be lowercase. Okay. All right, so the page that was updated was my follower goal configuration. Look at that. Not bad. So this is Firefox. Looks a little bit different in other browsers, right? Firefox doesn't handle the numbers too well here and gets this ugly thing there. And then we've got the my URL down here that I can use. So, and there was a change that was added a while ago to allow you to choose your Google fonts that you could use. I really like this. Once it downloads those fonts, right, I can start. Where's my fonts? I want to see my fonts. It's not loading the fonts. What did we do? And there's no errors being reported. Did we have that before? Hello there, the conservative coder. Welcome. Great to see you over there on Mixer. There we go. Look at that. No root element found. Localhost 6960. That's not me. Yeah, it's something. Yeah, I had this with Lemon. And yeah, it's not loading my Google fonts at all now. I wonder if my Google API key is stopped here. Nope. Let's do this. I'm going to go back over to my dev branch. Look at that. It reloaded the page immediately. That's pretty cool. I see it hitting Google Fonts APIs. It hasn't loaded the font there. But I do have my font lookup happening. So there's that Lemon font that I was using. Come on. Click preview. There. All right. So there's something that was changed in Standby Reloading's patch here that doesn't jive. So let me go back over to that branch. That's so cool. All right. So let's take a quick look-see at what changed around. There we go. Let's take a look around at what changed that could have affected where those fonts are. Let's see here. So I did something with the Google fonts. Yeah, it feels like I'm wondering if there's a wrapper or something there because you changed the way some of the classes are working here. I could write git checkout dash and it will take you to the previous branch. Really? Fancy. So if I do that again, it'll take me back over there? All right. Naxmec, thank you so much for that tip. I am going to use that one going forward. All right. And little things. I learn, In fact, here's what I'm going to do. Go to previous branch. I like to keep a notepad open usually. And I normally, when I'm on stream, I keep it on one of my extra, what's this called? Displays over here. Yeah, one of those things. I was about to call it a monitor. And whenever if I hit a bug or something that I want to make sure I report, I key it in over there. But I'm going to start showing that so that you folks can see that I am taking notes here. All right. So let me go back over because I like seeing the diff here. The color picker, the preview. So the colors up there, supported fonts. You moved supported fonts outside. Let's see here. That works with CD as well, at least in Bash. Okay, cool. Those function calls were wrapped inside my SEF, my SEF, solo executed function. So I moved that stuff so I could hook the text box changes. Can confirm works in Bash. Cool, thanks, Don. And I'm guessing your real name isn't Don. Just guessing. All right, let me see here if we can find self-executing function. That's what it is. I don't do that much JavaScript, and I need to do more. I've actually threatened Suze with I need to do some JavaScript with her at some point. But on the flip side of that, I've promised that I would help her with some .NET Core to get the music that she's playing in iTunes and echo that out for her stream. So that might be fun. Let's see here. So where would the fonts have been dropped? Load preview. Okay, so you moved load preview down here, and the fonts aren't being picked up. You changed the elements to a const. That shouldn't do anything. Google Fonts Adapter. Reference for HTTP and Vanilla.js. let API equals, did that get moved somewhere? Is that API still somewhere in my, let me see if this is still in the code somewhere. Because, I mean, right, that could be where it's dropped right there. Mixer chat is playing up again. Mixer chat? Oh, it's not. The chat from Mixer isn't getting through. Let's see. Nope, the pizza hack isn't working either. The emoji hack. Let's. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go to Mazrick 2087. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. It was followers, goal configuration. Yeah, I think we dropped. I think you accidentally dropped. Yeah, the font API key disappeared. Right, so right here, the API, this. Right, so if string is null or empty, then it sets the default fonts. Where's that? That is line 241. There it is. Google Fonts adapter. Yeah, you completely removed the Google Fonts. And the conservative coder, thank you. Ah, it made it look like I removed that code. Oh, and thank you, conservative coder, for the follow. I look forward to. Well, you have been commenting here in the chat room. All right. So let's put some of this back in there so we get our stuff working again. So I'm just going to copy this right here, and I'm going to get all that ugliness that kind of comes with it. Come here. This, paste in, and then I'm going to have to clean up some of this, that, and this. Oh, you know what? I'm just going to do the, oops. Hang on. And delete. Haha. All right. So I think, all right, so that is for that one. That's for that one. Okay, good. So let's see if that works. You might be able to just pull the branch down. Nope, yep, I think I have it. So let's go over here. Did it reload? I'm going to force it to reload. There we go. Now I've got it coming back again. Right? Where's play? Font not supported. I thought it was. There it is. Play. Lemon? Let me go back to that. My up and down keys aren't working. Well, now it's saying font not supported with everything. That worked. Cool. All right, I think we have that working again. Let me just refresh and make sure one last time. Where's my preview? There it is. All right. So if I change this to play. Cool. Looks good to me. I'm going to clear that out so I don't look silly anymore. Not use CLI and Vim to program. You can absolutely use the CLI to program here if you wanted to use that with .NET. It's pretty good. You can check that out. Yeah, I think we're all right here. So I like the way this looks. Tabs, please. Thank you. All right. And the fill bar colors. Oh, I lost all my fill bar colors. So I can click to add more. Let's make the middle. Let's make the middle orange, just because I like it looking weird. I'll start with purple over there by Sudoku's name. And I will end with, let's end with green. Just so it looks really weird. Alright. That's not bad. And it's cool, as I was updating the colors, it was actually refreshing that for me. So there's the event handlers that you were talking about. Right, where was it you wired up the events? Let's just take a look at that. Because I want to learn from what you did there. Changed a lot of lets to const. Okay. I added on-change events to the text boxes, so the selection box is probably firing that off. Yeah, the live changing. That is pretty cool. Where did it go? Right, you did a selection on the event, on the input type. On click, on change, load preview. There you go. But you're actually hitting that for each one of these. You blame ReSharper. I've got an idea. I've got an idea. What if... Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to merge your changes, right? So here's what... Let's do this. Fixed... what did I fix? Google Fonts. Alright. And I'm going to finish this merge and I'm going to close this out, but I've got an idea. This page is out of date. Refresh. Oh, you put another commit in there, did you? Put Google API back. Oh. Alright, I am going to commit that. Fantastic. Alright. Cool. Thank you for your contribution. This looks and feels great. All right. Cool. I guess I could go get by class. I could. Guntbert? Welcome, Guntbert. Great to see you here. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Here's what I'm thinking. Check this out. So whenever I see something repeated again and again and again and again like that, and you've only got those there... Oh, and you go to see if there's other... You set the supported... Supported fonts. Add color. Okay. And does add color... Where did it go? There. So you're calling a method to add the color selector. Let me find that. There it is. Ugh. All right. And then on change load preview. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm looking at is up here. Where'd it go? This. We're calling the exact same thing again and again and again and again. Let's put those in an array. Const. Let's call them quick preview text boxes. And then let's put in that each one of these. Oh. That's better. I did it again. I'm hitting Control C when I'm on that line instead of, well, heck, why don't I just do this? Ha-ha! So this way I can have one line and just tell it for each one of these, go set it. And I can't just use, right, I could put a selector on each one of these elements to go do that. But I like being a little bit more explicit with this, right? I'm more of a lurker. Oh, that's okay, Bert. Is that okay? Can I call you just Bert? All right. One more, right? And that's this one. There we go. So now I can just say, all right, now I'm going to run into for var, let's call it TB. Now, is it in or of? Quick preview text boxes, right? I get this confused. One of them, right, using of, I think that, is that get me the text item? It's a string. But if I change this to in, is it the number? No, it's still a string. I think it's of is what I want, right? So I can say that. The font name, how does that work with the dropdown? Will that event fire off soon with the autocomplete? For Java, it is in. And same thing for .NET. It is in. All right, so let's come back over to this. So I see another problem with the code, that it's not adding the fill bar colors, all of the ones that were defined originally, right? So if I change this to lemon, that worked. If I change my test count to 400, that works. So my little loop does work, but it's always the opposite of what I think. Yeah, it's very. I wanted to say condescending. It's very contrarian. That's the one I'm looking at. All will. The font name. How does that work with the dropdown? Will that event fire off too soon with the autocomplete? Well, it is working, right? If I just type play and tab, that worked. But it's not closing the autocomplete box. So we might need to do a little bit of work there. But the rest of them do work. But the problem that I'm also seeing out here is I had 3 fill bar colors and it dropped them. Right? This was right, I had the purple at the beginning. Yeah, that's fine. Right, and then I had the orange in the middle, right, so I'll choose orange, and then I'll choose over here at the end, I'll make this green, good, right, so it's got this really crazy look, and if I refresh the page, that initial load isn't building out the other 2 fill bar colors. So, type PL, you're talking about in here. And my up and down keys aren't working either to trigger the selector. So we got a little bit of work to do in there, and it's not finding. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, I'm dead in the water here. Right, and if I try and cursor up and down, yeah, we're gonna need to work on the events around this one. Let's see here. That's fine. Okay. So we've got a couple of event issues there. We're gonna need to take a look at. Filter exact match, filter partial match. Font name on key up. This is the one that does the update font list. I like what you're saying there, Bip and Paul. It'll be a good idea to change all this from JavaScript to C# and let Blazor just run it. I like that idea a lot. Up-down doesn't work because it's actually an absolutely positioned list box that pops up under the text box. It is, but we had it working where I was able to cursor up and down in there to select other fonts. Right, it was able to move the selection. The selection can't be moved now inside of there. Okay, so I think we're gonna need to do some work in there. Here's another on change on that font names. So let's do this. I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to pull the font name out of my quick preview list. Right, and short term, that should actually help things a little bit here. It's reloading. There's that. See, an up-down isn't working in there again. Right, I can't use my up and down keys, but I can click on it. Now I have to click load preview in order to get it to fire. Alright, so let's do this. Tab. We could do something with that. I'm going to go down here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to split this. Yeah. Alright, up here we have quick preview text boxes. So on click loads preview. Okay, so font name on key up, update font list, supported fonts this value. So that's how it's doing the filtering there. But font names on change, it hides the font panel. Okay, and then at the end of this, I want to call load preview. This way, when the font name changes, it does that. So let this finish reloading. Okay. And now that works. Right, so this was, I had play in here, and that's not loading for some reason. There we go. Yeah, and tab out of there isn't working either. I actually need to click it. So we can take a look at that. So, all right. So the challenge that I want to address here is, as I type that in, I want my up and down keys to be able to select one of these and then either press return or tab and have it trigger that selection, right? And I think we had that before, because if you look at the sample, and credit to, my apologies, I don't remember who added the Google Fonts adapter. This is the original sample that we saw that added this. So I'm just going to copy that. Let's wander out to that article real quick. I think the new event handlers are eating the needed events from the combo box. Well, so I have... no. I pulled off... So the new event handlers that you added was on click, load the preview of those things. I've actually pulled it off of the font box now. So the font box doesn't have one. For the on change, you can see if the value is a valid value and only do the load preview then. I would also add a debounce. All will 94. What do you mean by a debounce? Can you clarify that? I'm not familiar with that term. Joe Bun, he took the change event off the font box. Yes, that's for the font name. Bacon Norpeak. Hello. Welcome. All right, let's see. Let's go back down here. So on the key up of the font name, it does the filter of the fonts. Samuda, welcome. I appreciate that. I appreciate the follow. What am I making? We're working on. So I'll just bring everybody up to speed real quick. We're working on a little project here that generates some of the widgets that you see here on stream. Particularly, you see this goal bar up at the top here, the followers count, and then the viewer count in the top corner. Those are actually ASP.NET Core web pages that I'm running here locally, connecting out to Twitch and Mixer services to pull down and aggregate that data for us. So what we've done is we've actually been collaborating for a bit here to build a little configuration screen so that we can configure these widgets the way we want and generate an appropriate URL that can be embedded in OBS to generate and position these things appropriately. So it's a simple web page with a little bit of CSS and JavaScript that we're putting together, and we're just tuning some of these JavaScript events to make sure that they behave and feel properly. So so the font here, when I do the arrow keys, it'd be great to make sure that that was actually selecting things. So I'm going to hide that for right now. So I'm in the font name on key up. I want to grab that key code. If it is oh, thank you, random dude. That makes sense. So when you use the arrow keys, I actually want to navigate. I want to change the focus to another one of the elements inside there. And I can't remember. Are these the arrow keys? I want to trap up and down. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just re-enable this console log here so I can take a look at exactly which arrow keys are fired. I could go look it up somewhere, but it's just easier to just log it and do a little bit of peeking around here. So, all right, so right, I'm using the down key and I'm getting 40. If I use the up key, I'm getting 38. So up is 38, down is 40, and those aren't being trapped here. Up 38, down 40. And it you know what, it feels like that wasn't ever a feature here. Well, damn it, let's make it a feature. And then you're right, we're going to need to figure out how to put some debounce in there. So 8, 32, 46, 65, 90, I'm not sure which ones those are. But if it is one of those return. Clear the font panel and then update the font list. Okay, the font name's on change. Okay, and here's the add color. Now this youth. No, it's not going to. I want to get that formatted because damn. That's better. All right. Now I can actually read it a little bit better. All right. So on key up in the font name. Now font names. Which one is font names? I'm going to go up to my actual HTML up here. Nope. There we go. So there's a select for that. Okay. So my up and down while I'm in the text box. How about comments for the key codes you are already using or refactoring to const for readability? I forget. I don't know what these key codes are. They were submitted by somebody else. So now it feels really bad. Or use event.key instead of key code. Horfdan, I appreciate that comment. What would that look like if I used event.key? Can you show me what a snippet of that would look like? Pi 1 2 3 4 5. Welcome. I appreciate the follow and good morning, Steve. Great to see you again. Always lurking on my stream, Mr. Balmer. So I want to make that. This isn't a combo box here. This is just a list, right? I thought that was a panel. What is... Right, I don't have an actual select here. Right, what's it doing with font names? Right, font names, it never actually shows that, does it? Yeah, it's a panel. Is it just hiding there? Yeah, it sets the inner HTML to empty. So you're just using it to stash the names in it? Web forms much? Oh, come on now. Everybody loves web forms. So it's a, right, it's combo. Oh, thank you, Bacon Norpeak. I appreciate the follow. And I didn't call it a control. Somebody else did, okay? You could call it a widget. Let's see. But when is that actually changing? Because I don't see anything actually loading that, unless it's control add. Okay. Create font option current. All right. So create font option. Let's just take a look at what that's doing. It creates an option element. Oh no, it is doing the styling. That is a full select. That doesn't make sense. Because I thought it was the panel that it was showing. Right, that div panel down here. Right, if I... Nope, those are options inside of a select. So, two things that I see here that I wanna fix. This select, I would love it to be as wide as this box. You know? I'd also like the font size of the elements in that box to be the same as the font size that's up here. Gosh, how do you pronounce that? Huff CME? Huff CMC? Welcome. I appreciate the follow. All right. So let's do this. Yeah, Horfdan, I don't understand what you mean by the event.key. Key code, JavaScript event key codes. Oh, you stink. Really? Big deal. I was hoping to actually get a list. Alright, let me go back over here. So this looks like they're only doing something if it's a character. That's fine. To update the font list and to effectively filter, right? This is doing the type ahead filtering. But get element by ID fonts panel. Right, that's what's got the select with it in there. Okay. All right. So let's see. So while we're in the text box, if we hit key up, key down, I actually want to send that over. I feel like I want to execute that same key press inside the select. But if I change the focus, if I move the focus in there, it's gonna get a little wonky. Because I'll be in one text box and I'm trying to set the focus in another control. All right, let me come back to that. That's kind of like a nice to have at this point. Right, because right now, if I type this and tab, it doesn't work. If I type this and enter, it doesn't work. Right? And if I tab, it doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, tab and enter don't do anything in there. So I'm kind of stuck. What was that JavaScript key codes page? Right, so tab is 9, enter is 13. All right. Right, 9. Haha. All right. What happened? The chat rooms went completely silent. You everybody still there? All right. And is Mixer still giving people grief? All right. So if you do choose one of those, if you do enter or one of them, just watching intently. So the on change here, that is the yeah, I think I want to call load preview and let you go into the next one. So less than 65 means yeah. So let's do that. All right, I'm going to turn off the console log here. So let's say if... Why D? All right, fine. If D key code equals key code enter, or D key code equals key code tab, load preview, and return. How's that sound? There's another lib you could look at. You could hook into the text box and it works a little nicer. What about something like Twitter's Bloodhound? I don't know. I'm not familiar with that. So if I start typing M, now it didn't find lemon yet. Did it just not get loaded? There it is. And tab. So I pressed tab, it should have called load preview on that. Enter? No. I've done a bad thing. Well, it didn't load my updates. Let's start there. Alright, so I'm going to come back into this box. Start typing lemon. It's not there yet. It's still loading. Part of me wants to have a loading indicator there to show that it's still populating this box. Can you cache the Google Fonts API? I don't know. Let's, you know what I need to do? Thank you. I need to actually hide the panel. Yeah, I need to hide the panel if I select that. Ah, look at that, it reloaded. All right. I think, good to see you, JR. I think you're suggesting caching the results of that load so that I'm not constantly hitting it. It's not a bad idea. There's lemon. Now see, I tabbed out of there and it didn't do it. Oh no, it did that time. Haha! Alright, so I'll search for play. Tab. Nope, that one. Console log. Selecting the current font. I'm always so polite on my log messages. It's not a bad idea to cache that API. It just takes forever to load. Okay, so now if I tab, see it didn't pick up. Error, console is undefined. What? Oh, because I'm doing console. I'm doing console. Right? Instead of that console. Yeah, my .NET got to me. I'm used to seeing the uppercase console. Alright, change this again. And this will be, right, I'm just bouncing back and forth between these two fonts because I think they look funny. And tab, and it's not picking that up. selecting the current font. Nope, it did it that time. Nope, not doing it. Judging by the code, that list of fonts should already be stored in local storage. And I like the idea from standby reloading to redirect the log message so we can set that appropriately and turn on and off logging throughout the application. That's not a bad idea. Let's see, where's the... let's check on that storage of the API. The Google API. There it is, calling it. It sure looks like it's going to go get it every time. But local storage set items supported fonts. So when this is called, it sets it in local storage. Where is this being called? It's not. All right. Where is this being called? No, not on the selection. If supported fonts dot length, where is it loading that? Where is it loading it? Set supported fonts. And we know that set supported fonts is there a local storage get item on that? Local storage get item. No. Oh, wait a sec. If key equals supported fonts, triple equals. It better really equal. Const fonts equals JSON parse, and then set supported fonts. Fonts. So this is telling me that it never gets here. That feels bad. Is not getting the list, but setting the font family on each option. That could be. Could be. Let's see if this is actually called. It's got them. Which then tells me, if I look at network, I'm going to hide this. There we go. Yeah, look at it loading all those. And it's getting at 200. It's not pulling it out of cache. Right? You'd think it would cache these. But it's not. Let's take a look at one of these. Cache control, private, max age 86 400. So that's a really long time. It should be in cache. But why is it trying to get it each time? Yeah, it is a lot of fonts. And they should be, you would think they should be cached. So because your drop-down sets the options to use the font family, it has to load that font family from the API. No cache when using DevTools. Cache is not disabled. Yeah, cache is not disabled. Check it out. Not disabled. So it should pull it fresh. It should pull it from... I should be getting a, 304? From the local cache when it sets those. Excuse me. So this is when it gets those. When it sets those, it calls updated font list. There it is. So it goes and gets the select. Encoded equals encode URI current. Create CSS link tag encoded. Is that where we're tripping up here? Yeah, it creates it and just adds it. So it should pull from... Shouldn't that pull from cache? Oh, look at that. Well, that's just... So that's hitting it. Right, and if I refresh it, I'm always getting it 200. That doesn't make sense to me. Allow access control, allow origin star. Private, max age 86 400. In Chrome, at least, you can set your browser to offline. There's a good way to find out if stuff is cached or not. No, that should be cached right there. Cache control header is used to specify directives. So it would be no cache or no store. I mean, this should be cached. Indicates the response is intended for a single user and must not be stored by a shared cache. So there's intermediary caches that you might have that your ISP may set up to get stuff a little bit closer to you on the edge of the internet. Things like Google Fonts, it can actually, right, like Verizon or Xfinity or Cox Cable can store close to you. They're not doing that here. And max age in seconds, I mean, right, 86 400, that's a really long time. So it's generating. Right, let's grab one of these. Right, it's returning CSS. That should be pulling in those other, the actual fonts. Right, so I should have seen a load happen there where it actually loads the font. And there it is, it's actually getting the font. And that time it's getting it cached. right? Even though it's a 200, it's pulling it from the cache, right? And these ones, it's only transferring just a couple bytes, but when you add up all those dozens and dozens of fonts, that's a lot. So Eldorian is saying was maybe storing them in your cache and check that if you have a cache before it makes another call to the API. The browser should be doing that naturally because the response that it gets for each one of these is a 200. And if you look at the header that's coming back, the response header says, go ahead, cache it, and cache it for a really freaking long time. So I've got the names of the fonts stored in my local cache. Fantastic. But when you actually look at setting the font, right? This is injected into the style sheet for the page. All the information that it needs in order to paint that font with the URL and everything to go get it. And when it actually does go and get it, you see I've got the 200 down here. It is pulling the font from the cache. So the actual glyphs here, the WAF2 file, is coming out of my browser. Good. But why is it going and getting all of these from the server? Navigating to another page that reuses the style sheet, opening a new tab and loading the page, or clicking the address bar and hitting enter to reload the page will all use the cached copy if available. I think you're onto something there, random dude. All right, chat room, follow me. See if and tell me I'm not crazy here. The code that's building the list of Google fonts is dynamically creating a link tag and adding that to the page. Is that link tag generation creating something that will never be cacheable? And perhaps instead, can we grab the contents of all of these things and paste them into one CSS sheet and then minify it and then stash a local copy inside of my my application? What do you think? Tell me I'm not crazy. I could easily test that by adding a link tag for lemon or something. Great idea. Let's give that a try. But do you see where I'm going here? Eldorian's right. The performance thing here is crazy stupid. We shouldn't be running into this. But if we can reduce this work, we might be onto something. So I think you guys are onto something. I'm going to copy out. I'm going to grab my two favorite, these things. Right, there's lemon. There's what that looks like. So I'm going to copy, right, what's local lemon regular? I should be all right with copying that out, right? I'm going to go up to dub root. Put into my CSS. Let's add a new file. NS Fletcher, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. No style sheet. There we go. Let's call this cached Google font. This is interesting. All right, so I'm going to paste into that what I copied out. And let me copy the other one that I like. And that was called play. All right, so here I am. Let's see, where is... See, look, this is crazy. I'm clicking. Make with the clicky. Play. All right, and I will paste that in here. Wow, look at all that. I appreciate that folks have other typefaces here, Cyrillic and all that. I'm just going to grab the Latin just to test this out. Hey, no problem. Didn't realize there was devs on Mixer until a Twitch person I watched moved over. Oh, welcome, Menace Fletcher. Oh no, we're getting the doubles on Mixer. And there's a question from, is that the Polyalshalvim? I'm having a hard time pronouncing your name. I'm actually creating some of the widgets that you see here on screen. So if you look up top here, this helpme.net widget, the followers count, and then the viewer count in the top right corner. There it is up there. I'm actually building those with ASP.NET Core and to connect and fetch the data from the streaming services, and I'm using some HTML, some CSS, and JavaScript to format it nice. And what I'm finding is the fonts that I want to use from Google Fonts, I'm seeing a little weird cache behavior here. And let's see what we can do to see if we can get this working. Working a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to comment out the document get element by tag name to add the link. You know what? I could probably even... Uh-oh. Okay. And then up here, I'm going to go up to my... Oh, wait. There's my styles. So I'm going to add a link type equals text CSS. Rel equals style sheet. href equals CSS. Cache to Google font. And let's see if it picks that up. So that's the lemon font. So that worked. Let's see now. All right, so all my other fonts are coming through at just default. And if I look for play, of course it's not going to find it right away, right? I didn't load anywhere near as much junk. There's play, and it's formatted properly. Whoa. Now if I search for lemon, that's formatted properly. I like it. Okay. So if I downloaded all of the style sheets and put them into one giant cached CSS file and kept it locally, refreshed it on some regular basis, that's not bad. I'm going to take that as a task item, as an issue here. We're going to need to do this. Okay. That's cool. Need to set font color for filled in bar elements. We're almost there. Let's do this. Need to cache locally the contents of the Google Font CSS files. This takes a long time to download, and it would be nice to cache this locally on some periodic basis. Perhaps expiring once a week? Maybe? I'm going to label this as an enhancement and list it as help wanted. So if anybody wants to take a look at that, you can do that. Stream tools such as the follower count, etc. at the top of the stream. Yep, you got it. Eldorian, that would be a cool solution. Not the same I was talking about, but probably a lot better. Well, right, you could cache in the browser, but why cache by doing it this way? That, right, the actual CSS for the font now, look at that, it's coming out cached. And CSS for Lemon, that's coming out cached. Cached Google Font. Now let me refresh the page. Like, nice, there are more and more streamers moving from Twitch to Mixer, especially from the art and dev community. I can go either way. There's Mixer for streamers is lacking some control things. So I still prefer host-wise. Twitch is doing a better job. What did Meat Popsicle post? Yeah. All right. All right. I am going to go back over here and uncomment this, and I'm going to leave that fix for either another time, or if somebody wants to submit a pull request and put that in. And then I also want to be able to do that navigating as I'm hitting the end of the time that I was planning to stream here. Let's see, I'm going to allow arrow key selection, arrow keys and selection of fonts from font text box. All right, and then this should function similarly to other autocomplete text boxes. And this is on, this is goal configuration, right? Goal configuration CSHTML is the page we're working on. Yeah. So this is in views, followers, goal configuration CSHTML. I should put goal configuration up here also. Okay, there we go. Twitch Mixer would be Amazon and Microsoft. Yes, the Huff. It is those two companies. I think it's because of the low latency, especially with one of the devs. I know it's much easier to have a conversation about dev stuff when there isn't a 7 to 10 second delay. Actually, we don't see a significant delay on Twitch. I was saying that you can combine font requests by pipe delimiting the font names, and then Nightbot smashed the link. Oh. Let me go back over there and let me look back at the cache. Let's do this. And that's another reason why I need to work on the bot. Is that Nightbot's a little aggressive. Good, you can try that again, Meat Popsicle. And you can pipe them together like that. Twitch on iOS is like a 20-second delay. Very little Twitch delay on PC. Well, when you're on iOS, it's actually scaling it down. Right? I mean, I'm pushing out 1080p here. And, yeah. So, you can say that again. I've been on Nightbot ban host because of raid messages containing too many emotes. Yeah. Let's see here. So what you're suggesting, instead of creating CSS link tag, is we might be able to, and creating dozens and dozens of those things, we might be able to do like a reduce on this and actually create all of them at once? No, that can't happen. That couldn't be. Where is that being called? Right, could we create it once? Well, we're doing this for each one of them. Even if we created it for like 10 at a time. I'm going to hold off on that. There's definitely something here that could be done. Let's put a note. Another option is to pipe delimit the fetch and construction of CSS link tags. And then what you're suggesting is fonts, Google, APIs.com, CSS, family equals, and be able to do like play, lemon, and it will fetch those. And if I actually click that, oh, can't find it. They were there, or is it upset because it doesn't have the capitalization? You're kidding me. Okay. What do I know? Feels bad, man. It would definitely reduce the latency of firing off hundreds of requests. Yes. Not sure if there's a max number you can ask for in one request, though. That's Linux systems for you. DrumMag22, good morning. Welcome to the stream. We are 14 followers away from my next goal. When we get to that goal, I'm going to host almost an open call-in show where folks are going to be able to submit their problems, and we'll host and discuss, and I'll even live share into your Visual Studio, and we'll discuss some questions you have, and together we'll solve them here on stream. Does anyone know the pawn language? Haven't heard of it. Is that a chess thing? That's news to me. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to close this. I'm going to close that. I should look at the other pull request that we have here. Mixer bot prep. Oh, Jobon, fantastic. You know what? Let me put this one on hold because I want to come back and do some more with the chat later next week. And kind of pull all that together in one spot. In the meantime, where do we land on this? I don't think I have too much here that's out of the way. But you know what? Git status. I don't need that cached Google font. Where did it go? That's fine. All right. Let me delete that. Oh, wait. I can do it over here. Ha-ha! Uh, uh, is it Jux Michael? Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us from Mixer. All right, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to get rid of this cached selection of fonts here. I don't need those for right now. Let me come back over to this. Cool. I don't think I changed too much here. Big deal. Oh, it did. All right. Some tabbing is what it fixed, what it changed there. That's okay. But I did like the idea of rerouting my log messages, actually overriding console.log. Oh, thank you for the follow, DrumMag. Tell you what, I am going to just put it right here. Function message console.log message. All right, there it is. So now everywhere that I have console.log, I'll replace with just log. All right, let's go find one. Yep. Replace, 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 replace. Yep, yep, sure. Why not? All right. There was actually... Yeah, it's... Prof Elements, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh, we are 12 followers away. Woohoo! Oh man, that's awesome. So I should be able to run this and it should just log that out appropriately. Leica, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Oh, is somebody rating us over there? No, those were 3 on Twitch. Last one was on Mixer. Thank you for the follows, everybody. 10 to go. Maybe I'll just stick around for a little bit and get that until we can get to 1,000 here today. So there it is. Look at all. There's it loading all those Google APIs, right? Like we were saying, we've effectively flooded the browser, right? It's making so many requests here that it's right. It can't. Well, it's actually making those over HTTP too. So we're multiplexing hundreds of requests all at the same time. Yeah, and it's getting a little grouchy. Thank you, Don. I appreciate the follow over there on Mixer. So, if I change this now... Yep, I've done it before it finished loading. There's so many in that box. Why do you do something like a very, very simple service worker to cache those? That's pretty cool too. Cache them in the local storage? See, now I've done it. I've really... The Huff, thank you for the follow. Are you related to the Huff? I gotta ask that. I'm sorry. There's play. Thank you, Hitchum Wolf. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh, 8 to go. Can't stay and hang out, but stopping back when I have a chance. Have a good one. Thank you. Yeah, I like the idea of trying a service worker here. I'm gonna leave that open. You know, let's explore a couple different ways to do this. Like I said, I'm nearing the end of my morning here. And that works, and okay. Now, I should be able to turn off the logging, right? Just by coming up here and saying, don't do that. And all of my logs go away. Fantastic. Yeah, loading all those fonts is just crushing this experience. But when it does load, I mean, it's an amazing experience. Yep, cool. All right. I'm happy with where that is for right now. All right, so I'm just going to git commit. Oh, thank you for the tweet, JR. Simplified console log. So we can get rid of that. I'll push that up. All right. I didn't get into Power BI today. I wanted to get into Power BI. All right. We've got a couple different ways that we can approach this. And I want to leave it open in case anybody wants to do some work and pull that together as a pull request, because it's going to take me a little bit longer to get through that here today. And I know some of you have some really good ideas of how to structure that. So for right now, I'm going to leave that out there. But I do want to optimize how that page behaves at some point in the future. What I do want to show you is just a little bit of what I'm doing with Power BI and some of the information that I'm getting from Twitch and Twitch statistics. So I'm going to pivot out of this project in ASP.NET Core, and I want to show you something that I've been building that I call Twitch BI. Now, I have a problem here where I want to load the data from my Twitch streams so I can generate some reports and see, well, how am I doing with viewers and other data that I can collect from the streams. And Twitch doesn't give me a lot of data. It doesn't give me any information about the folks that are connecting. In fact, if you look at this, it's a CSV, and it's literally just a bunch of numbers that they're passing me. Check this out. Right? There's zero personal data coming through here, okay? So I'm not logging anything that isn't currently going into the video. Of course, you know, when you chat and you publish stuff in the chat room, it gets burned into the video and you see it there on the side. What I'd like to do is I'd like to capture these numbers, put them onto a graph somewhere so I can actually do something with it. So I wrote a little loader here to use link to CSV to capture those values out of that comma-delimited, comma-separated value file and load it into a SQL database so that I can start to do some of that analysis. Make sense? Because folks like numbers, folks like pictures, to be able to say, hey, you know, you're doing a good job, or, you know, we're learning things about, you know, how Twitch and Mixer are working for us. So I've got the data, and I've already loaded a bunch of it into a SQL server that's hanging out there, and this is where it's located. I want, if you over to the right further is information about the connection string, blah, blah, blah. This is literally just a scratch thing here so I can load the data. I'm not publishing this source code. I'm just loading data at this point. But what I can do is I can now load Power BI Desktop, and I can start to interact with that data in my database. Now, if you haven't seen Power BI Desktop, this is a tool made by Microsoft that you can use to build dashboards that you can publish and share with folks in your organization. So let me shrink this down so you can see everything all on one screen here. And then there's other cool things you can do with the Power BI data to publish and share it around. DrumMag, Twitch and Mixer have the same parent company? No, they do not. Twitch is owned by Amazon. Mixer is owned by Microsoft. Bert says, I really appreciate how you went at patience, attention to detail, and how you really work with Git. Thanks a lot. No problem. You know what? And I want to make sure, Gunbert, I want to make sure that it's clear to folks who are watching, you know, that I am a real developer and that I am going through and answering all of your questions. I want to make sure that I explain things so that folks do learn. And I want to this isn't just me here programming. Okay, I position my stream as it's a pair programming experience, and if you look at some of the previous ones that I've done, I actually bring on guests, and those folks contribute ideas, and they work with us here on stream, along with folks in the chat room, to work together and solve problems. And I'm always eager to merge pull requests and talk about code that you may have written to contribute to some of the projects. So Mixer and Twitch are working together. How did he get followed on Twitch from someone on Mixer? I use Restream.io. I'm actually syndicating to both services right now. Crazy thing I found out yesterday before Mixer was bought by Microsoft, it was started and owned by an 18-year-old. Okay. And it was called Beam before that, right? B-E-A-M. And now there's hooks in Windows 10 to allow you to capture your screen and start broadcasting there very, very quickly, if you'd like to do that. So, no, you're not slow. Business and it's not 100% transparent who owns these services. So if it is something that you are interested in learning more about, you can dig through their service websites and you'll see about it. It's like YouTube isn't perfectly transparent that YouTube is owned by Google. So, all right, I want to show you a little bit about Power BI and how I'm analyzing this data. So I'm going to click this Get Data button because you need to start off collecting data from somewhere. I'm going to get it from a database. I have a SQL Server database hanging out there. And I'm going to go to, where did I saved my connection string somewhere? And I don't see it. I had a connection string saved somewhere. I don't see it. You know what? I have a copy of my connection string on this machine, my other machine. I'm just going to grab that real quick. Here. There. I'm looking through my files. Not there. Okay, that didn't show my connection string. Okay. There it is. I'm connecting to this server. It is DN community, and then my database is I think I called it Stream BI. I'm going to import data. All right. Okay. Then it should prompt me for my user ID and password here, which I have saved on another screen. Amazon bought Twitch like a year or so ago. Oh, Amazon bought Twitch a little bit further back than that. All right, so I've already got authentication loaded up here. So I'm going to grab my stats. So here, check this out. This is the table. So I showed you that Excel sheet with my statistics. So here's the number of ad breaks, chat messages, the number of chatters. And if you look all the way across, I have a timestamp of, which 5-minute period I was receiving, folks from Twitch joining, or Twitter, when they jumped on, and the number of viewers. And I think, yep, new followers, each one of those minutes. So I'm just going to load that in. And it's going to load this in and create a model around that I can start to work with. Now, check this out. I'm going to choose one of these visualizations up here. I'm going to choose like the area graph, right? And I can say, let's grab the timestamp. No. Not over here. Not this thing. Here. Let's grab the timestamp. And let's grab the number of viewers. And for 2018, it has just a dot. I don't care about just 2018. I don't care about just the first quarter. So it gives me this drill down capability for year, quarter, month. So there's January and February. A lot more viewers here in February. And I can drill down again and I can see each one of those. I can actually drill down on just February. Right? Yep. And there's just February, the number of viewers that I've had on each day so far. So, yeah, 3.5 years ago. There you go, JR. That's how long. I knew Amazon had Twitch for a while. And gosh, JR's been streaming on Twitch for a long time. Does a great job with a podcast and a show for Blizz Pro over there. Check them out. Talking about some of your favorite Blizzard games. All right, so, I mean, I literally clicked a couple buttons and I've got a graph that shows me the number of viewers per day, and here's my workshop with 3,600 viewers. That can't be right. What it's done is it's actually summing the number of viewers each day, which isn't quite right. That isn't quite the value we want for each one of these. We probably should have either average or maximum. Let's make it maximum. And look at that. You saw the graph shift there. The maximum number of viewers I had here was 108 on just Twitch on the 16th of February. So that's kind of cool that I get this simple interaction here real quick. But that's just, right, that's just like the tip of the, right, the tip of the iceberg here. There's all kinds of other stuff we can do with this as well. So let me bring this down here. And I can also put next to this, or I can even put on the same graph, I can put the number of chatters. And now I've got both next to each other. And the number of chatters is, it's, once again, it's summing here. Probably want to change that. Let's make it maximum there as well. So we can see, even though I had 108 people viewing here on the 16th, at the most I had 14 people chatting at the same time. So that's kind of cool. I probably don't want really chatters. I'm more interested in chat messages. And then let's take chat messages. And actually, some of chat messages make sense. So at the most, I had 108 people viewing at the same time, and then I had 1,003 messages on that stream on the 16th. So that's kind of cool. But let's turn this around a little bit. I would actually rather have a gauge over here. Let's put a gauge. Right, let's put this somewhere. Let's make it look like that. And then let's have this go off of chat messages. All right. And so I've got a value, a minimum value, and a maximum value. So the maximum value, I'm actually going to make the maximum number of chat messages. And the value, the maximum there is, I'd like it to be the maximum and then the average. So the average number of chat messages and the maximum number. So the maximum is 33, and that's for, let me think that through. I probably want, right, this is a sum over here on this one. Yeah. All right, so I think I want this to be the sum of chat messages. All right. And then I don't want if this is the sum as well, it's always going to be the same. Some of us skew those chatter numbers. Yes. What I want to do is I want to be able to select a specific day and then be able to see the maximum number of chat messages, right? The peak number of chat messages for a specific day as the maximum value here, and have for whatever day or whatever you've selected show the right that average, or right, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that's not bad. So the maximum number of chat messages and these are on 5-minute periods, was 33, but the average was 7.55. So if I turn on the drill down here, or let's go back up one, right? So across both months now, I can see the difference between the two. And if I drill down, right? Yeah, turn on. So So that's kind of interesting to see that they both kind of reflect at the same time. Right, and let's go in on just February. And if I go back to January when I had a lot less traffic, the average number of chat messages was 3.5. Right, and I've only got data for January 30th. And there were 14 chat messages at the highest during a 15-minute period. So that's kind of neat. Hello, Professor Elements. But I feel like I need to do a little bit more here to get the actual value that I want. Let's see. There's ways to add other values here. Let me go back up one. So if I go back into February, right, and now these numbers kind of really skew because the number of viewers versus the number of chat messages are really skewed here. So having both values on there might not be quite what I want. So I'll remove that so I'm back down to just this. So I can see average chat messages versus the maximum over here at the same time. What might be interesting to put on this is the number of new followers each time. So now I can see the number of new followers, right? Particularly looking at the 16th when we had our workshop, I can see a little bit of that information. So Professor Elements, we're just taking a look at what Power BI can do to give us a little bit of insight into some of the Twitch data that we've been collecting. Now, I can drill down. I can do a little bit of filtering here. I'm actually going to bring in, this is called the slicer. It slices, it dices, it even juliennes fries. And what I can actually do is I can put this over here. And now I can just kind of drag back and forth and filter however I want to, and look at just a specific point in time, and it reflects the entire report based on how I've filtered that date. So if I want to look at just stuff that's happened within the last week, I can see, we had that workshop on the 16th, and my number of viewers, maximum number of viewers, has stayed about even. Right, if I want to look at just February, so I can see a little bit of that interaction. And there's other things that I'd like to do here to kind of measure and gauge interaction. So I can, if you look at the data that I'm bringing in, I'm not bringing in any geographical data. I don't know anything about where folks are located, so I can't use some of the geographical things. But what might be interesting would be to show a funnel, perhaps. And in the funnel, right, if we were to make... No, that's not going to work. I was going to say it'd be nice to show a funnel where I've got followers, viewers, chatters, because there's layers of interaction there, right? There's 700 some followers on Twitch, and there's 40, 50 some viewers all at the same time, and then only some smaller group of those are actually chatting. And it'd be nice to be able to show that as kind of a funnel here, but it's, I don't think, I can't get the total number of followers. I need to figure out another way to collect that from Twitch. And I may need to be able to pull that from somewhere else. So I don't think I can do that yet. So this is some of the things that I'm trying to do to analyze and learn a little bit more about how we're doing here on stream, and I want to figure out a better way to look at how chat has gone. And I know which ones of these days I've had a guest. I'd like to be able to highlight in my graph here. You can't really see it; it's behind my head. I'd like to be able to highlight here what the topics were on different days when I did have a guest, and if that affected the number of viewers, the amount of chat that happened. Certainly, having an 8-hour stream increased the number of viewers that we had significantly. So that's a little bit that I'm doing to tinker with Power BI and figure out and try and measure a little bit better what we're doing over here. There's other things that you can do with this, but I've only got one data table at this point. I need to figure out some other data that I can bring in, kind of mesh up, and see what's going on here, because some of these data points aren't really showing me anything, and that feels bad. I want to get some real value out of the data that we're collecting from folks that are joining us here on stream. I really appreciate it, and I want to figure out how to do a better job for you to bring you more content that you would enjoy. So, last thing I want to show you, when I'm done with this, I can click publish, and it goes out to a shared dashboard that all the folks on my team can see and can interact with, and can start to inspect and learn a little bit more about what exactly is going on with my data. But I need to figure out a little bit more about what I want to show, and I'm not quite there yet. All right, so that's all the time I have for today. I'm gonna of course archive off today's video. I'll put it over there on YouTube so you can check that out later, or if you missed the stream, you missed some portion of the stream and you want to see what we were doing earlier today with some JavaScript and HTML with ASP.NET Core. I hope you join me on Tuesday. My guest will be Steve Smith. Steve is an expert in application design, and he's going to take a look and help us talk through some of the things with how our ASP.NET application is designed, and these are really some recommendations and things for any type of object-oriented application. Thursday next week, I don't currently have anybody on the schedule yet, so we might be doing some more free coding then. Saturday next week, I'm off. I have an event that I'll be announcing. I'm an in-arena announcer for an event that my children are at. And then the following week, we'll be live from MVP Summit in Redmond, Washington, from Microsoft campus. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you, everybody, for joining me here today. We are almost there. 7 followers from our next goal. And then I've got some other folks that are really interested in joining me as guests on stream. I'll have more about that as I get confirmations and we lock on dates. So thank you very much, everybody out there, and I'll see you next time. Take care.